Second. Karina showed up. Let's go. Nathan,
And
maybe a
Coles.
Jackson Coles, maybe on his dad's account. But we'll get started in just about 1 minute or less. We'll get this recorded here in a second.
My apologies for my voice, guys. I've been sick for about a week now. Trying to come back. Welcome, McKenna.
We are recording now. We're recording right now. So we'll get started. Welcome, everyone, to Pacific U and Athletics. So, welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks to everyone that's here live, taking time this evening on a Thursday to come join us. So, we appreciate everyone being here. We're going to go through, I'm going to introduce a couple of my amazing friends and colleagues, and then we will give you guys a tour of some of our athletics facilities, and then be able to answer any questions that you have. You are welcome to drop questions directly to me in the chat. If there's something that we'll get to later that maybe answers those questions, maybe we will delay, but we'll get to all of your questions before the end of the night. So thanks everyone for having your cameras off. This is recorded, so please do not shout any obscenity. No, I'm joking. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully everyone here is here for the right reasons, and that's to learn about boxer athletics. So I'm going to pass this off, introduce a legend around Pacific University. Uncle Jeff Grundon's been around for a while at Pacific. I'm not going to say exact years because I wasn't around when those years happened. But Uncle Jeff, Hall of Fame member, former coach, current athletic liaison, and an amazing senior associate director of undergraduate admissions. Close there, Uncle. I'm gonna turn it over to you, Uncle Jeff.
Hey, everybody. Great to see you in here tonight. It's an honor and a pleasure and a privilege for us to be sharing information with you tonight. I'm going to chat a little bit quickly about well, when we get going, but talk a little bit about, for those that haven't been admitted, about the application process. For those of you that have been admitted, so congratulations on you being accepted and your merit scholarship. If you have not done a senior preview scholarship day, we have one Zoom left coming up, and I'll put that in the chat here in a second. And then we've got an in-person one on March 1st. But if you haven't done that, you got to come and do it, or you got to do it because it's 2,000 for every year for 4 years. That's easy, $8,000 to get. So, and the reason I'm called Uncle Jeff, everybody, is because I am from Hawaii, and I was the counselor for the students from Hawaii for 35 years, and it's part of our culture there. People are older than you, not related to you, which I've got all of you beat on the age part as well. We call them auntie or uncle, so it's not a weird thing, I promise. So thanks, Brant. I'm gonna kick it back over to you so you can introduce incredible athletic director.
You went silent, muted there for a second. I'm not sure which adjective you dropped in there, but there's the incredible, the impeccable, the amazing man that helped bring football back to Pacific University. Our amazing, incredible, and all the other adjectives that Uncle used to describe Mr. Keith Buckley. Coach, go ahead, take over.
Awesome. Thanks, Brent. Thanks, Jeff. I always love doing these event nights with prospective student athletes because it's a chance to celebrate a little bit of who we are and what we do in the athletic department here as part of the whole of Pacific University. And as we get going, I thought I'd take a minute just to give you a little bit of my background because I think it does speak a little bit to what Pacific is and what attracted me to be a part of this. I am originally from California. I went to college at UC Davis, played football there, spent a number of years coaching there, a couple years on the football staff at Stanford. And in the summer of 2009, I was hired to bring football back to Pacific's campus as the head football coach. They had not had football here for about 20 years at Pacific, and so had this opportunity to investigate through the interview process what this institution in Forest Grove, Oregon was all about, and the type of people and the organization that it was. And as I came on the interview, much like you all are currently kind of coming on an interview to look at Pacific as an opportunity for you, what I found was some very specific things that were really attractive to me, attractive to my family. And it really ultimately came down to people, but it was an institution that was committed to the student athlete experience. And when we talk about the student athlete experience, we're talking about the student and the athlete side. And as we've gone over the last 15 years, we continue to invest in that at a level that continues to grow and provide opportunity. Many of you have been introduced to the Pacific Priority program that gives you the opportunity to get admitted to a graduate program and know that you're going to do that right now. So to be a student athlete for 4 years and be able to matriculate into a graduate program and know what you're going to do is just an incredible commitment to you and your future. And we continue that in athletics in addressing a holistic development ideal to you as a student, as an athlete, as a young adult, in helping you grow and supporting you through that. And we truly have committed to supporting your experience, and whether that's simply the fact that all of our head coaches are full-time coaches. We don't have part-time coaches, and not every Division III institution can promote that. We have a athlete mental health task force that includes the director of our counseling center, our department designated sports psychologist, and then a number of other people from campus here to again help you develop and manage some of the transitional challenges that we all face. And then also certified strength coaches tied to every single program. So developing you as an athlete and those coaches. So we really have invested and committed to student athlete experience at Pacific. And then the last piece of support that's truly really cool here, and you can see it in Brant's Zoom box, is the student support that we get at our competitions. The Student Athlete Advisory Committee, the Red Den, our athletes support each other. We've got a basketball game Friday night. Expect a really big crowd now that the semester has started. We're excited to do that for all of our sports across the calendar of the year. So we're fired up with where we're going. We have 615 to 625 student athletes in the department, and 24 varsity sports, 5 JV sports, a couple clubs. It's a big part of Pacific, and it's an exciting and proud part of Pacific that alums, current athletes, and families truly love about our institution. So here to answer your questions. So please, as we go through some of these discussion topics and the video that Brant will show us, we're here to answer your questions and get you to know a little bit more about us as a whole. And I know our coaches have done a great job connecting with you and talking you through the process and talking through the individual components of their programs. You know, I'm not going to be able to talk about how our wrestling coach formulates practices and his competitive ideals and that, but I can certainly talk to you about the type of person that we have in our head coaching positions and the investment they have in you. So, Brant, I'll stop there and maybe we can go through the tour video and then open it up to some questions.
That sounds great. I will do the share here. And I'll slow it down a little bit because I know it does go pretty quick through the facilities. So if you want me to hit pause though, I can do that as well.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Let me get the right screen up. Okay, here we go. Hopefully it's
All
up.
right, so the Stoller Center is our athletic department building, named after Bill Stoller. Many of you kind of have probably heard the Stoller name, in neighborhoods around the Portland area if you're from around here, but tremendous basketball player, successful individual and true supporter. This is our fitness center, and I say fitness center because this truly is kind of open to all students. And then we do reserve it at times for teams. We have a secondary weight room that we utilize for sports. But this is definitely a place that athletes in the off season can come in and get things moving a little bit. We have replaced all the racks and platforms, so we're now branded with Pacific Athletic logos, and the plates have the boxer head on it. And so it's a large space, truly viable for kind of off-season workouts. But when you work out with your team, typically it's in a reserved time frame, either in here mornings or in what we call the box, which you'll see a little bit of here in a moment. Like I said, we do have a certified strength coach with everybody in each program. This is our Hall of Fame area, kind of a central gathering place. We now have tables that sit in front of these that athletes will hang out in. And I just think it's important to note we're an institution that's 175 years old and have played a lot of athletics and have tremendous support from that alumni base. This is Stoller Gym. This is our basketball, volleyball gymnasium. We have 3 full courts, seats up to 2,500 in the venue. Also have some drop down curtains so that we can at times have multiple teams practicing or having open gyms. This is the field house, and maybe Brant pause right here for a second, just so this will give me a second to talk about this, because this really is something really unique and special to us on the West Coast. There is nobody else at our level that has an indoor field turf facility. This is a 55-yard facility, 40 yards wide. It is plenty big enough for us for soccer, lacrosse, baseball and softball are in there a lot in this time of year when it might be too wet to get outside at times. Football will do a lot of its off-season training in there. But just about every sport we have at some point will be in this field turf facility. We just replaced it this past spring into the summer in a clear indication from campus that your experience as an athlete matters. It had gotten a little bit old and had the chance to put brand new turf down. We also do a ton of intramurals and kind of some fun stuff in there as well. As you can see, there's batting cage net, baseball, softball can come inside and do hitting through there. Up top there is a batting cage. And then inside that, underneath that batting cage is what we call the box. And that really is our athletic racks and platforms. It is a very simple team lift based component. Not a lot of frills, but intentionally not a lot of frills. And again, we have replaced all the racks and platforms in there with new components. This is our rehab room. And like I said, we have tremendous support in the sports medicine realm. We have 5 full-time trainers in the department. And just this year, we have added the only full-time physical therapist in-house in an athletic department at the Division III level in the West. And so if an individual is to get injured at a level that requires physical therapy, you don't have to leave campus to go do it. You can do it in-house through primary insurance and then a secondary insurance policy that we carry for athletes. It is incredible, well taken care of sports medicine operation. Hanson Stadium is our outdoor venue. This is football, lacrosse, soccer, and track and field. Again, field turf facility, we just replaced that 4 years ago. So that's brand new, and is a really fun environment for everybody. Our football tailgates are pretty special. Folks show up 3 hours beforehand, are barbecuing in the parking lot. We have a boxer club, which is our fundraising arm, tent that families and alums and folks hang out and have a root beer or two before the game, and just have a great time. We have a full HD video board in the stadium right next to the world's tallest barber pole. Long story about that. We can talk later. Chuck Buffaro Stadium is our baseball stadium, turf infield, grass outfield, which really allows us to play much more in damp conditions should they occur. Baseball has been incredibly successful, winning at least a share of 3 of the last 4 titles in conference. So great venue for us to play. Sherman Larkin Stadium is our softball facility. When those were built, so all the outside facilities were done in 2006, 2007. This stadium was named Small School Softball Stadium of the Year. And talking about continued improvement and enhancement to facilities, we turfed the outfield of this just a couple of years ago to make the facility even better. I don't know this guy.
I don't know who that guy is either, right?
So that was a quick tour, and the facilities really are spectacular, especially on the outside, and then the field house. And we're not done, and we're not quite ready to go public with announcements, but we've got some pretty ambitious plans for a major upgrade to our indoor facilities and expansion of some spaces, expansion of services to our student athletes as a part of that. So more to come on that. That's my little tease to just say that the institution's not done. It isn't, we are good enough at this point, and let it go. We're continuing to look at avenues and ways for us to improve everything that we offer to student athletes at Pacific.
Awesome. Thank you. We have some questions now that we're gonna see if we can get answered. If you do have questions and you're watching live, go ahead and drop them in the comments, direct message them to me, or you can do the old-fashioned, turn on your camera, raise your hand, and we'll call on you. But first one about housing. Is there an athlete's dorm, or do athletes typically live together, or is it with a random student?
Yeah, so there is not a specific athlete dorm, and that's very intentional. Like I said at the onset, this is all about the student athlete experience. And so you being with other students who might not be athletes are really important to the experience and the academic growth that you might have, and the social growth that you'll have while you're here. But what we do offer is the opportunity to live with a teammate in your sport. And we have found that that's very advantageous to live with the teammate so that your calendars and mornings and nights are very similar. And you have a common experience, common struggle to get up every morning and go to work, to make yourself a better student, make yourself a better athlete, and invest in your team and your experience. So it's really successful that way. It's really a benefit. And a lot of times it will be your coach getting to know you all during the recruiting process and going, hey, I think you'd really, man, Brant, you'd really jive with Jeff in the dorms. We really think you guys would be great in pairing you two up. So it is a benefit. We have a number of dorms on campus. And as you kind of move up in years, you have the opportunity to choose your roommate and where you want to live on campus. And then the dining hall is part of that residential experience. is right smack in the middle of those dorms, easy access and is an all-you-can-eat plan. So as an athlete, you don't have to be budgeting what you can purchase or not purchase meal-wise. And they take a really, really good care of us as a department. And so when we're traveling, when we have late practices, they can do some things for us to make sure you get fed.
Couple things on that, couple of comments. First, I'd love to live with Uncle Jeff. If there were, I mean, that sounds like a great time to share a room with that guy. So, Uncle, we'll have to talk about that. Second thing is the all-you-can-eat food. My last university I was at, it was like you wanted a cheeseburger, 4 points. You wanted fries, 2 points. A salad, 4 more points. By the end of it was a quarter school, but by the end of the quarter, they were, because that was based on a typical student's budget or diet, maybe not a hungry college athlete. So they were always running out of points and the equivalent of money, and then not having the points to have food. And then you're worried about, are they nutrition being met? Is it proper nutrition? So that seems like a little thing to some people, maybe, but that is a big deal that you can swipe your card once and then take as much food as you want. But Uncle Jeff, I'm gonna pass this one to you. If I haven't been in touch with a coach, but I'm interested in playing, what steps would I take, or what would be the best way to do that, Uncle?
Well, first and foremost, I think get in touch with the coach. Go to our Boxer website, goboxers.com. All the coaches' emails are in the athletic department. You'll see the staff directory. And so you can email each coach. They have phone numbers there, so you can call them. Some are their cell phones, some are their office phones. But if you haven't been in touch with the coach yet, do that ASAP. And that's going to be the best way to start that. Your admissions counselor can also help facilitate that as well. So that's part of our role as well.
Great. Thank you, Uncle. What about student athlete support for their academics? What type of, if students are struggling, do they miss a lot of class? Are athletes missing class? And what type of support is available for student athletes?
Yeah, I honestly, the best thing we got going is class. That is the
Center
tutoring
for
center.
Learning, the class. We love
Just trying to
acronyms.
think what the acronym was.
Acronym Center for Learning and Student Success, right? The
Yeah.
class, but there's also the average class size is 19. So athletes that are on this call, professors will know. You miss practice, coach will know. You miss class at Pacific, your professors will know, and they're going to email or call or maybe not even text, not because they're mad, more just kind of like, hey, we missed you today. Where were you, Karina? What's going on? So there is that level of accountability. So there is the Center for Learning and Student Success, the acronym CLASS, but also knowing the professors. Professors have office hours. So there is a lot of support. Maybe miss a couple of days a year, depending on the sport, some more than others, but a couple of days of school. You don't miss class for practice. Coaches usually work around the schedule that you're in class. But Uncle Jeff, do you have anything you want to add?
Yeah, the other piece is all of the professors have office hours, and in every class that you're going to have, they are going to give you a course syllabus. And typically, no, they do. They give you their office hours, office phone, their email. I'd say about 90 to 99% of them will give you their cell phone number and or their home phone number if they're like me and I still have a home phone, because they want to be in touch with you. They want you to be in touch with them. And the reason they're asking if you're missing class, they're asking about that is because they want to see you succeed. We have a 4-year graduation guarantee. And so our rule is you don't have to know what you want to major in when you come in. But if you do, great, you can start working on your major as a freshman. But we ask you to declare your major or minors or double majors, etc., by the end of the sophomore year. And because of the faculty and the support that you're going to have throughout, we guarantee you will graduate in 4 years. Now, obviously, as a student athlete, you got to uphold your end of the bargain. But the professors are going to come to your games. They're going to cheer for you. They might not have a clue of what you're doing in your game, but they'll ask you about it, and they'll be there. And really want to support you. That was one of the things that I really loved the most about being a student athlete when I was here at Pacific. My professors were there for me and they cared about me and my teammates and my buddies. So um, they'll become your lifelong mentors. They really, truly will.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that is really important to note is the connectiveness of all the support mechanisms. And we have a system on campus called the CARE system. And so if a faculty member has a concern, they submit that. If a coach has a concern, they submit that. And it gets the full armament of support activated. And so whether it's academic, athletic, mental health, you're injured and are going to miss some classes because of doctor's appointments, whatever, all of that gets connected together to really put us all on the same page and all in the same team and being supportive of issues, challenges that a student athlete may face. And some coaches do study hall, some don't. Some need it, some don't. But every team has had a 3.0 GPA for semesters, and we don't have a real concern around the academic success of our athletes because they come here with a goal in mind that is beyond just playing sport. So we're excited about that, and having been at Stanford and Davis, two of the elite academic institutions in the country, I truly believe we provide more comprehensive support for students in general, but student athletes as well, than anywhere I've ever been in my career.
And that is saying a lot. I'm gonna put you on the spot. Do you know, is CARE an acronym? Is that an acronym or is it just CARE? Do you know that one, Keith? I don't.
I think it's just CARE.
It's CARE.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure if there was an acronym behind CARE, but that kind of ties in with another question we did ask about that I was asked about mental health support. I know you mentioned there's a group, a committee. Can you talk a little bit about the mental health support, Keith?
Yeah. And there's a couple different paths in this support mechanism that I talk about. We have sports specific help with sports psychology, and so Dr. Tamara Tasker is a faculty member in the Graduate School of Psychology for us, and she leads a sports psychology group. So we get a couple clinical rotations of clinical psychologists that come through and are here to support athletes in their athletic pursuits. But a lot of times what that creates is a reference to our counseling center, and the director of the counseling center, Dr. Laura Stallings, is a huge help. And I meet with that team directly in the counseling center to make sure that we are attending to student athlete acute needs, but also Laura, Tamara Tasker, Graham Turner from the Student Counseling Center. We do regular large scale presentations to folks. And we don't break it up by team, we actually break it up by class. So we do a freshman session on homesickness and college transition for athletes that really kind of puts it out into the open, some of the challenges that we all faced, even when Uncle Jeff left school or left home and went to college. We all faced those transitional difficulties. And so we put that out in the open and acknowledge it, and it's okay. Everybody gets sick, homesick. I still miss my mom's cooking. And so, and then all the way up to the seniors, having a session on end of athletic career transition and what that means to your identity when you're no longer a soccer player, but just a college graduate with a job. And so try to do some large scale, big picture developmental things on the mental health side, but also have a ton of components partnered with sports medicine for those acute individualized issues that may or may not come up during the course of a college career.
Coach, there's a question in the chat. It's like, without talking about specifics of the unannounced improvements, would they be completed in time for us to benefit from them? How many years in the future? If you can talk any about that.
Yeah, and I'll be real honest, a lot of it depends on how quickly we can raise the money to get going. That is the reality of any capital project on a college campus, whether it's a new science center or a new dorm or the facility that we're talking about. We feel pretty good about it. We're excited about what we're doing, and you know, the ideal hope would be, yes, at some phase of that project would hopefully be moving forward within the next 4 years or so.
Great.
I don't know that the whole thing will be done in 4 years, but maybe.
If I win Powerball.
If there's anybody that's watching this that wants to help, we do have Boxer Giving Days. No, I'm not an expert on that, so I'm not going to mention Boxer Giving Days, but we could talk. Coach, Uncle Jeff, anything you guys want to say before we wrap up? There is always, you can reach out to any of us. All of our contact information is on the website. So feel free to reach out if you have specific questions about a coach, a sport. Get connected with your admissions counselor. If you haven't applied, get that done as soon as possible. Common App and transcript. But Uncle Jeff, Coach Buckley, anything you want to say before we sign off here?
Yeah, I think, you know, one of the most important things in this process is to be proactive. You know, I don't, this will not be defensive of coaches, but they got a lot going on. Some of them are in the middle of the season. Some of them, you know, are out and about on the road recruiting. There's a lot to manage. And so you showing your interest in us is as important as us showing our interest in you. And so don't be afraid. Don't be hesitant to touch base with the coach. Don't be hesitant to send updated film or updates from the recruiting process that you're going through. This is about building a relationship with a coach. This is about building a relationship with an institution that you're doing with the admissions counselors, you're doing with the coaches, and to some degree doing with each other. And hopefully you get a chance to meet some of the other folks that may be coming in this class, you know, as we bring in a couple hundred freshmen and transfers into the athletic department every year. That's your group. That's your future lifelong friends. You know, it is really cool to see those relationships develop and forge. And it's so fun now that I've been here for 15 years to see former athletes in each other's weddings and getting married to each other and standing up for each other and being there for them in the good times and the bad times and truly developing a depth of relationship that is something special and something unique that I think athletics can provide and foster for everybody. So engage in it, jump all in, and hopefully we get a chance to see you in the fall. If you do come on a visit on campus, hopefully I'll be around and be able to say hello and meet you and your families. I appreciate the time, and I'm excited for what we got cooking at Pacific.
Let's go. Go for it, Uncle.
I'm going to put in the chat. If you have not visited us, you got to come and visit us. You can set up an individual appointment, a campus tour. We can set you up meetings with the coaches you want to meet with. I just put that in the chat. Very simple. We'd love to have you come and see this special place for yourself. And when you walk on this campus, I can guarantee you almost every single student that I meet with, and Coach Miner and I, well, we're both former coaches that we meet with, when we ask them, so what does it feel like to you when you've been on campus now and you visited? And so it feels like home. And that's the fit is really important, guys. The fit is really important, and academics are really important. I'm very proud to say that the National Science Foundation ranks us as the #1 private research university in all of the Northwest. And that's big schools like Gonzaga and the University of Portland, everybody else in our conference. And in addition to that, which I think is pretty awesome, and I'm a very proud boxer, they actually rank us as one of the top 8 research institutions in the West. And that's from all schools. So to be ranked with Stanford and UC Berkeley and USC is pretty great stuff. So you're coming to do great things in athletics and great things academically. And if you come, I guarantee you it'll change your life. So we hope you become a boxer, because right now is a great time to be a boxer.
Every day. Let's go. And I will say, if you have the opportunity to be a college athlete, take advantage of it. And like it was what Coach was saying, guys that stood with me at my wedding, some of my best lifelong friends were the guys that I was college athletic or that participated in college athletics with. So don't pass that up. And I think it was also Coach Buckley that said the people make the place. And you got to see our facilities. We have top-notch facilities. We have a beautiful campus, but the people make the place. Wherever you're looking, remember, it's the people. It's always about the people. It's not always where you're at, it's who you're with that matters. So thank you, everyone, for joining. Uncle Jeff, I saw you unmute. I'll let you take it out of here. Coach Buckley, thanks for joining us. You're going to close it out, Uncle. I'm dishing it off to you like Stockton to Malone. Here we go.
Stockton to Malone. I used to have muscles.
You're the
like that.
mailman. You're going to deliver it right here, Uncle.
Yeah. Well, listen, everyone that's joined us tonight, it's been a privilege and an honor. We're sincerely excited about your interest in Pacific, and we want you to be boxers. We want you, and I hope you can feel that from every aspect of the university. And I guarantee you, as a student athlete, you will see your president of Pacific at everything. Jenny just is pretty incredible, amazing. She's at everything: music events, sporting events, everything. I was with her last year at a basketball game, and the next day, her and her husband were driving to the swim meet in Seattle to watch our swim team, and then they went to the basketball game in Tacoma. And on Sunday, Jenny was at a men's and women's wrestling match in our Stoller Center. So we're all here for you, and we want you to be here. Thanks a lot. We really appreciate you coming. Coach Buckley, thanks for all of your great insights, your great information, and it's an honor to be on this dais with both you men. Thank you guys so much for coming. Have a great night. Hope to see you soon.
Thank you all. Go Boxers.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. See you, Karina.